I've got a problem, my friends, and I'm wondering if you've experienced something like this too. I would bet in 2025 I probably spent 10 times the number of hours mindlessly watching YouTube videos, a lot of which were lists of recommended games for my backlog and meticulously cataloging the games I still needed to acquire, than I did actually playing games. During the holiday sales around Christmas, I bought 5 times the number of games that I played in 2025. Not beaten, just the ones I even started. At this point, based on my current library of owned or accessible games, if I live a long life and somehow die an 85-year-old that's still a hardcore gamer, and then I'm magically reincarnated 2 more times as an avid gamer, I would still not be able to beat my current gaming backlog. And a lot of that is just the phase of life that I'm in, right? I'm a dad with 3 very young children, a full-time job, a wife, a house, where time is now becoming my most valuable currency, instead of money always being the limiting factor, like it is when you're younger. And I think some of that is pretty normal and we're all experiencing that, but as I reached the end of this year, I had to ask myself a really important question about this. What are we doing here? Why do we keep buying more things? And I'm not just talking games. What are we chasing? What is this nostalgia-fueled madness, this hole that we're trying to fill by curating this FOMO-driven collection of perfect items? And I'm not just doing it with video games, like I said. I'm making sure to catalog all the old movies that I've missed, all the classic anime that I haven't seen that are supposed to be some of the best of all time. And frankly, cataloging and curating all of these things, I think it's actually causing me a certain amount of actual stress. And I think that's just such a stupid first world problem. What a ridiculous problem to have. And frankly, it's robbing me of my enjoyment when I do play games because I'm glancing over at the ever-growing backlog while I hear the clock ticking loudly in my ear, thinking, boy, this game better be good. I'm rushing through some of the greatest titles ever made and shortchanging my experience, an experience that a lot of people would give a lot to get back that first time. And I'm shortchanging it just to check a box on a list so that I can hopefully get that hit that I'm looking for in the next title, but it never really measures up to what the expectation should be. And at the end of the day, I think we just have to accept that you can't play everything. You'll never get to every title. And you know what? It doesn't deserve this amount of our focus and attention. I don't know that I even like gaming like that anymore, man. This is more of a habit than anything. I used to like it like that back when I was a kid, but something changed along the way. And it's not just me getting older, though being an adult with different priorities is part of it, but there's something more insidious going on that I think we all need to be more aware of. I know this is a bit of a pivot, but it'll make sense in a second, so bear with me. I think that smartphones, social media, and highly accessible adult content is legitimately breaking our brains. When the first mass market adoption of smartphones occurred in 2007 with the iPhone, and early social media sites were exploding in popularity, I don't think any of us quite realized the extent to which we just let the devil in, so to speak. Our technology evolved way more quickly than our simple monkey brains ever had a chance to, and I really don't think that we're meant to live like this. I think now, in hindsight, it's pretty obvious. If you ask anyone if smartphones, Twitter, TikTok, corrupt mass media, and pornography is beneficial to the human psyche, I'm thinking you get a consensus definitely not, with no hesitation. It's poisoning our minds, and it's warping the brains of an increasingly young demographic, training them, in fact, very intentionally, to adopt this system of device addiction and instant gratification. We all know it's bad, yet we keep using these things now because we're all addicted to them. I think we're all genuinely addicted to this diabolical algorithmic spiral convincing us that we're going to miss out on something. Social media is designed not to satisfy, but to keep you searching. That's how they keep you clicking, keep you watching. The whole business model is designed around watch time hours and ad revenue, after all. And listen, I'm guilty here. I've used FOMO-driven titles and thumbnails because that's the game you have to play for the algorithm to pick up your video at all. It's the only way that you stand a chance. But I don't know, man. Something about it just feels greasy to me. Maybe you know what I mean. Researching games and finding a missing gem to add to the list may seem trivial, and sometimes it is, but it's beginning to feel for me less like a magical collecting experience that I'm excited about, and more like a smoker calming their craving. Social media isn't even social anymore, it's just a dopamine slot machine that incites anger for ad revenue. At some point, slowly over time, we decided we were cool with trading our time and attention, our personal data, and our emotional well-being to corporate tech gods for a quick hit of brain juice. A quick hit that I think we're all now seeing has some very substantial diminishing returns. That's why you keep checking your phone every 2 seconds. We're addicts, man. You're just looking for your next fix. So why do we keep buying, keep researching, keep digging through lists, instead of enjoying the stuff that we already have, if we're genuinely that interested in it? We leave it on shelves collecting dust behind us, while we continue searching for more and more, to add to the piles, to add to the infinite backlog. So clearly that stuff is not what we think it is. It represents some sort of potential in our minds, but if we never realize that potential, then it's literally wasted money. Games for me used to be pure fun when I was younger. Amazing stories, heart-pounding, competitive gameplay. It was a skill that I could master and compete against my friends. They can still be that, don't get me wrong, but it hits different now that I'm an adult. I have a budding family of 3 very young children, as I said, responsibilities galore, and at some point I should probably consider sleeping. Games for me are just a break from the noise and responsibility, a window of time for me to unplug and decompress, and one of the most reliable social outlets to connect with my friends. The problem is, because of the sheer volume of things competing for my time, my tired eyes during the late hours when I get some free time, and the highly addictive, sickly sweet allure of easy dopamine through phone apps. When I sit down to play games I know I should love, I just get bored, man. It's ironic, honestly, given the concerns that many parents had about video games in the 90s as they became more popular, that we'd all end up adopting technology that is genuinely insidious and that makes video games feel too dull, so you end up whipping out your phone. I'm tired, man. I don't know, maybe you're feeling this too, but frankly, I'm sick of it. So, let's talk about a plan of attack going into 2026, because I think this is fixable. I think the big problem is that we inundate ourselves with so much entertainment and distraction constantly that when we get a chance to enjoy our hobbies, it doesn't feel like a novel experience anymore, so you don't get much out of them. You've already squeezed all of the day's dopamine out of your brain. Some of the pure enjoyment we used to get stemmed from the scarcity of options and opportunity. We didn't have phones to whip out in class back in the 90s and 2000s, after all. I also think we need to swap out the word backlog with the word library. A backlog implies a to-do list. There's an inherent pressure to churn through it, but a library is just a pool of options. You can check out a title at your leisure, and that's the option you have available for a while until you return it. This is sort of an artificial scarcity, limiting your options to avoid decision paralysis, but there's also no real pressure to get through them all. In fact, you'd never really expect to. I thought up a stupid little mental exercise that I think summarizes the game plan moving forward, and I tried to keep it generalized such that if you have similar goals, perhaps this will be helpful for you too. The basic premise is that you view your brain as a battery, and it starts every single day at 100% charge. Every time you check your phone, every time you open a social media app, every time you watch a video on YouTube, you drain some of that battery, maybe 5% every time you touch your phone. Perhaps every minute of video that you watch on YouTube is a 1% charge that you've drained. But you can earn a little bit of that charge back, maybe 10-15%, by doing something you've been avoiding, or by doing a hard workout. But if you give in to one of your vices or consume adult content, maybe that drops your battery to 0. And at the end of the day, whatever percentage you have left of that battery, that's what you've left for yourself and your family. And that's the percentage of enjoyment that you're going to get out of the things that matter to you. So what are the steps to making sure that we maintain that charge? Well, my number one recommendation is to take a break from social media apps. Consider deleting them. In fact, I think it's been like 7 or 8 years since I've participated in any form of social media other than YouTube, obviously. And it does feel at first like you're gonna be missing something, but it's clear once you get rid of them that it's actually taking something from you. Your time, your sanity, it's trash, man. Ditch the social media and breathe the free air, my friends. Next up, quit doom scrolling and quit mindlessly binging content and focus on being more present in the moment. I think I'm going to give myself a time budget and only watch specific things intentionally. Now, I'll still put out the occasional list because I think they're fun, but you're not missing a ton here, man. You've got a lifetime or more of options in front of you, so this includes watching my stuff. If you are addicted to adult content, try to make this the year that you conquer it. It's a far more destructive force in your life than you may even realize. Moving into 2026, try and put your phone down, man. Quit searching and start enjoying what you have. Not just your games or your hobbies, but your family, your religious pursuits if that's your thing, your friends, and damn it, even learn to enjoy being alone with yourself. You should treat yourself well and set some high standards. You're a valuable person, so start acting like it. As you fully dive into your hobbies and other experiences, work on being fully present. Keep a journal of your thoughts on things, make a spreadsheet of ratings of your favorite games. Hell, make a YouTube channel and share those thoughts. Celebrate your experiences with what little time we are granted in this life. Because all things considered, we have very little time on this earth. You should spend it doing something you actually care about, and quit distracting yourself while life flies past you. I think we need to learn to be alone with our thoughts again, to be bored sometimes, and then, when you sit down to enjoy your games, it'll feel earned. That time will feel more exciting and novel again, because you haven't been squeezing your brain like a lemon for every last drop all day beforehand. I guess what I'm saying, just to summarize, is that we should all make an effort to participate in this life more intentionally, instead of just distracting ourselves while it passes us by. 2025 was the fastest year in the 35 years that I've lived, and as a dad with 3 very young children, I'm really not okay with pressing the fast forward button on my life with all these mindless time sinks. Let's make 2026 the start of something better, boys. If you made it this far, share your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious if you've ever felt something similar. Either way, I appreciate you sticking around. Like and subscribe and all that if you want to, and thanks for stopping by.